Welcome to day 26 of our December marathon, and today we're going to be grading every single AEW superstar on their roster, and we're going to get right into this one.
Yeah, we're going to kick things off with Angelico.
Yeah, not a ton from him this year, so probably going to go right into D tier, unfortunately.
Yeah, but next up, Arya Davari.
Same thing, D tier.
And then next up, one half of Gates of Agony, Bishop Colin.
Yeah, had an improved year. Definitely in previous years, I probably would have just landed them in D tier immediately as well, but I think I'll improve him to C tier this time.
I can agree with that. But next up is Bryan Danielson, a hard one to rank, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of commentary, I guess I'll rank him on. I'll put him. He's a pretty solid commentator. I'll put him B tier commentator.
All right, fair enough. Next up, Chris Jericho.
Hasn't done a ton. I guess you could put him in C tier, I guess.
Yeah, I think this year we haven't seen too much of Chris Jericho. Probably won't see much of him anymore in AEW. He looks like to be on the verge of the WWE. But next up is going to be Austin Gunn.
Yeah, I do believe he is the one that's hurt. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But either way, I think he'll go B tier.
I can agree with that. Next up, Darius Martin.
I like him. He's awesome. I'll put him in B.
I can agree with that. I think Top Flight hasn't hit the success I would like them to hit in AEW, but I think with the tag team kind of changing up again, I think they could be have another run as tag team champions one day. But next up is going to be El Clone.
Yeah, I guess C tier. I'm not too interested in things he's been doing.
And then the recently heel turned Hook.
B tier? I don't really know where to rank Hook. He's kind of like a 50-50 guy for me. I love him sometimes. I hate him sometimes.
Yeah, I think he has a little bit of improvement in terms of just, heel work and stuff like that, but I think I still would put him C tier. Still need to see him get better in that ring. And then next up is going to be Jay White.
Yeah, one of my favorites in AEW. I love to put him in S tier, but unfortunately, an injury sort of derailed a pretty good storyline that he had going on. But I will put him in B tier nonetheless.
Yeah, I can agree with that. One of AEW's new signings this year was Josh Alexander, as he is up next.
Yeah, probably. I mean, arguably their best signing this year in terms of, the matches that he's put on, the quality of, storytelling that he's put on with the Don Callis family being a part of that. So probably B tier. I like Josh Alexander.
Yeah, I think he's somebody who easily could be one of the top guys in the company whenever, they need to have a top mid-card guy. But I think he hasn't hit, or he's not there just yet. I think time will only tell what his heights will be in AEW. But next up, a man we haven't seen this year is going to be Keith Lee.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to go into D tier. But shout out to Keith Lee. Hopefully we see him healthy soon.
And then next up, Konosuke Takeshita.
I mean, immediate S tier for me. Had a whole lot of success, amazing matches. Won the G1 this year, won the championship as well, and a great storyline with Okada. So yeah, S tier.
I can agree with that. Takeshita, obviously winning so many accolades and will continue this year, finishing the year at World's End with hopefully an amazing match and potentially win the Kondo Classic. So yeah, good year from them. But then next up,
we're not sure who this is, so he just go in D tier because I'm not sure.
I know who it is. I just can't remember the name, so I don't know.
I don't know him at all. I'll be honest.
Next up is Mansoor though.
Same thing, I guess. D tier. I mean, I guess you could put him in C tier. He's had a couple of funny, viral moments, I guess, Twitter moments, but yeah.
And then tag team partner Mason Madden.
Same thing.
And then Max Caster follows that.
Best wrestler alive. Max Caster is the best. Tough one to rank, I guess, because he has had some cool moments this year. He has had some good matches. I do like him more than Anthony Bowens in terms of their in-ring quality of matches and their promos and everything of that nature. B tier?
Yeah, I'd probably put him C tier, to be honest. I think, again, a decent year. Obviously, the best wrestler alive stuff is definitely a funny gimmick, but obviously, I think hasn't done too much of really notoriety, especially compared to guys in the B tier. But next up is, Nick Wayne.
He's someone who I really wanted to get behind, but unfortunately things really didn't pan out in that direction creatively for him. So I guess right there with Josh and B tier, or I guess you could go C tier. I don't, wherever you want to put them, between B or C is fine with me, to be honest.
I think obviously in ring skill wise, I think he's obviously B or even A tier, obviously. But I think I will put him C tier. Again, I wish he had a better year with the Christian stuff kind of finishing up. I think there is room to improve, but yeah. Next up is going to be Peter Avalon, somebody we haven't seen this year. So I guess we'll just go straight into the D tier. But next up is going to be Roderick Strong.
Yeah, Roderick Strong, obviously his tag team partner Kyle O'Reilly, or his former tag team partner Kyle O'Reilly, is kind of the guy who came out on top of everything in terms of his group. But I guess for him, he did have blood and guts. He did do the Continental Classic. C tier, you could put him in B tier for sure, but I'd probably lean more towards C.
I think I will lean towards the B tier. Obviously, the kind of classic run wasn't the best, but I think overall he still is one of the best match guys in AEW. Can put on some of the best shows each night. So yeah, I think I still will put him in the B tier. And next up, I believe, is Captain Sean Dean, and I remembered his name was Lee Johnson. But yeah, I think next up is going to be Captain Sean Dean.
Yeah, we could put him in D. I am not familiar with these guys.
And then next up, I think this is either Butcher or The Blade. I think we haven't seen them either this year, so I guess they can go straight into D tier as well.
Yeah.
And then next up, I think this is Truth Magnum, obviously one half of the Outriders.
Yeah, they could go C, I guess. They go right there with the Gates of Agony.
And then somebody we've seen, I believe, at the start of the year, unfortunately haven't done too much in AEW, is going to be one half of the Grizzled Young Veterans. I believe this is... I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But yeah, I haven't seen too much of him this year either.
Yeah, they definitely, I don't know exactly what went on between the Grizzled Young Veterans and AEW, but it was a pretty exciting moment when they showed up and everyone's like, oh, now the tag team division is woken up. We have like an immediately third option outside of obviously FTR and the Young Bucks. Didn't pan out in that direction, so unfortunately going D tier.
Then next up is going to be Adam Copeland.
I mean, he did have the Christian stuff this year, so that's a big positive. The Moxley match was like pretty dull, to say the least. But yeah, I haven't really liked his year, to be honest. Obviously, Edge is Edge. He's one of the greatest, but probably B tier for me.
Yeah, I think I'll still put him B tier. He at least makes things interesting. He makes you want to at least watch what he's going to be doing, so I guess I'll give him that. Next up is going to be Cool Hand Ange.
Yeah, D tier. Not much to go on with him.
And then next up, Colton Gunn.
Yeah, he go with his tag team partner in B tier. I feel like I'm very excited for the Guns when they're officially back together and fully healthy, and Ace Austin's with them, and they're back on screen together as part of Jay White and everything. That'll be very exciting, but for right now, sucks.
Next up is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, dealing with the injury, unfortunately, but he did have a lot of success in AEW. Had some great matches, good storylines with MJF, and even leaning forward after that, he had some good stuff with Shelton Benjamin, kind of telling the story of him, or were they going to split when they went face-to-face in their Casino Gauntlet match, but turns out they were all fine all along. But yeah, I like him. Maybe even A tier. Our first A tier for Bobby, maybe?
Yeah, I think I can do that. He's been somebody who has been shown quite a bit on Dynamite consistently. So yeah, I think Bobby Lashley, a good year. I think hopefully this upcoming year we'll see more singles action from him. I think we're kind of done with that tag team division, but maybe we'll see him in the world title picture next year, which I wouldn't mind him having. But next up is going to be Brian Keith.
Yeah, I mean, this is somebody who, previous to the Chris Jericho's learning tree thing, he wasn't really getting a ton of TV time or anything. He gets into the Chris Jericho learning tree. He obviously starts getting more TV time doing that. But then once Chris Jericho left, you would think, they would use that momentum that Chris Jericho gave him to push him forward without him. However, we haven't seen that whatsoever. I do believe he's had 1 or 2 matches with Big Bill recently in some of the tag team division. But nothing amazing, nothing to really sink your teeth into. So unfortunately, I would put him D, but I can't. I'll put him C.
Yeah, I think I'll put him C tier. I think he's somebody who has the skills to be a top mid-carder in AEW, but unfortunately hasn't hit that mark just yet. And next up is going to be Christian Cage.
Yeah, I enjoyed him more than Adam Copeland. However, I'll probably put him in the same tier as Adam Copeland.
I can agree with that. Yeah, Christian, obviously, probably going to be more featured next year. But yeah, somebody who hasn't been featured at all this year, I believe, has been Danhausen.
Yeah, maybe showed up for that Bandito match. I don't know if that was technically this year or not, but yeah. I mean, yeah, he'll go in D tier. He hasn't done anything. I don't even necessarily know if he's been doing a ton of indie matches recently even, but it does seem as if his contract will be running out in February, so hopefully he'll get a big refresh and restart somewhere else soon.
And then next up, though, will be one half of FTR in Dax Harwood.
Yeah, I mean, your current tag team champions, one of the best tag teams of all time and best tag team of the year. So, S tier, I guess?
I don't think I'll put him in S tier. I'll probably still put him in A tier. Obviously, being one of the best tag teams this year is definitely S potential, but I think overall I still would put him in A tier. There has been a few moments where I do think I didn't enjoy them as much, but as of late I have been on the opposite side where I have enjoyed F tier quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely fair. If they don't make it, I guess we're not having no tag teams in the S tier this year.
But next up is Evil Uno.
Yeah, I mean, right into D tier, unfortunately for him.
And then next up, Isaiah Cassidy, one half of Private Party.
Yeah, I mean, went into the year as part of the tag team champions, but got squashed by Bobby Lashley, and then Tony Khan ruined all of it. And now they're maybe WWE bound, NXT bound, TNA bound. Who knows where they're going or if they're going to stay in AEW or whatever. But I love Private Party. I would love to put them in A tier because they are a tier tag team. But unfortunately, I will put them in D.
I think. Yeah, I guess we haven't seen him as much. I don't know when the tag team title reign, if it was this year, though, I probably still would put him in C. But yeah, if the tag team run wasn't this year, then fair enough.
They had their celebration in January of this year because they won it in like November, somewhere around there. They had their party for it in January, then they lost it in February.
Fair enough. But then next up is going to be Jeff Jarrett.
Had a pretty good match with Hangman Adam Page, to be fair, this year. So I guess that could bump him up to C tier. But besides that, not. Or was it MJF? I don't remember who it was.
I think he's had a match with both of them this year. He had one match with heel Hangman, and then I think he had a match with MJF after Hangman turned face.
Yeah, he's supposed to have his retirement run this year, but that just kind of, I don't know really what happened with that. I guess we're just not getting it, unfortunately. But yeah, I guess D tier is fine.
And then next, I believe, is Josh Woods.
Yeah, D. I don't really have an opinion on him too much, I guess.
And then somebody we do have an opinion on is going to be Kenny Omega.
D. No. Hasn't done a ton of matches, but has had really good matches. Probably would be an instant S tier every single time, but I think this will probably be the first year we slap him in A tier.
Yeah, I think in terms of just quantity, I think this year is obviously a down year, but we might see a little bit more of him going into next year. So yeah, somebody we haven't seen too much of either was Kota Ibushi this year, but where should we put him at?
Yeah, on and off year for his injury time and things of that nature. When he did come back recently and he kind of reunited a little bit with Kenny Omega and we kind of got a tease of that at least. Immediately after that, he unfortunately got injured to kind of set all that back. But I really love him. He's had really good matches. His match with Okada this year was amazing, so I'll put him in B tier.
Yeah, I think Kota Ibushi, obviously, when he is fully healthy and we can potentially see him back with Kenny Omega, I think things will look a lot better for him. But, again, unfortunately, hasn't had that luck, I guess. So, yeah. But next up is going to be Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, sort of, kind of your Javon Evans of AEW, your kind of young guy who's rising up the scene, and once he gets put onto that main roster, he'll be an amazing person to witness. However, he is not on that main roster yet. We have not really seen a whole lot of introduction to him even being on the main roster, really. But in Ring of Honor, he's been great. Just in AEW, hasn't really done a lot. So, he's an A-tier wrestler, but I'll put him in B tier for this list.
Yeah, fair enough. I probably would have put him in C tier, but yeah, I think obviously he has all the potential. One of the best wrestlers in Ring of Honor, but yeah, I think B tier in terms of just skill is fine. But somebody who is going to be up there is going to be Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, I mean, some people would probably put him in S tier this year, and I think, I guess that's fair. But I haven't really enjoyed it considering we have gotten a ton of Kyle Fletcher matches with him this year. Not that that's a bad thing. The matches are always great, of course, but I would like to see some new, fresh things. He did finally win the TNT champion, or the TNT champion, so that's really good. Got his own custom title, but probably an A tier rather than an S.
Yeah, I think A tier is fine for him. One of my favorite years, I think he's somebody who I have enjoyed a lot. Like you said, the Kyle Fletcher match is obviously going to take up a bulk of the year, but yeah, still pretty much every match of those has been great. And stuff with MGF was also really fun. So yeah, really fun year from Mark Briscoe. But next up is Daddy Magic.
Yeah, D tier. I guess he's had a few little run-ins and commentary things and things of that nature, but not much going on for him.
And then next up is -1, aka Brody Lee Jr. Another hard one to rank, obviously, because we don't really see him too much, so I guess he unfortunately has to go D.
Nah, but he's S tier in our hearts.
The next up is Orange Cassidy.
hasn't really done a whole lot, if I'm not mistaken. He was injured for quite some time in the kind of middle part of this year. Um, hmm. What do you think?
I probably still put him B. I think he still was around for the start of the year, but I think he kind of went away at the same time. Where I was like Jay White, but yeah, still somebody who's consistently shown now that he is back and will probably still be towards the middle or the top of the AEW division. So I probably still would put him B tier. His match quality is still just as good as it ever has been. So yeah, probably like I said, still will put him B.
Yeah, that's fine.
But next up is the complete opposite of Orange Cassidy in Powerhouse Hobbs, somebody who has had a great year. But yeah, pretty fun year from him. Obviously, now Trios champions, and yeah, obviously 1/3 of the Ops.
Yeah, I mean, he's someone who last year, I've always really liked Powerhouse Hobbs, but I never kind of held him in high regard. Like, he always had, like, kind of standard to me. It was, all right, when he wrestles, we'll get a 3.5 match, and then I guess I'll be happy with that. But I feel like this year he's kind of turned that around, and now he's kind of in a position in my mind where it's like, I just want to see gold around his waist at all times, sort of. I think he just looks really good with every title. His in-ring quality has been really good. His match with Hangman Adam Page has been really good. He's the most exciting thing of the Ops, in my humble opinion, even though I do love Samoa Joe, but I love Powerhouse Hobbs even more. But with that being said, I think I want to put him in A tier so bad, but probably leaning more towards B.
Yeah, probably leaning more towards B as well. Obviously, everything you said, he has been great. He has been kind of elevating himself more, being able to be in bigger opportunities as well. I think has been great for him. But yeah, I think B tier is fine. Somebody who I think will be higher next year. But next up is gonna be Roosh.
Yeah, another person who hasn't really done a lot this year. I haven't really enjoyed stuff that he has been part of either. So I guess D tier. If you want to put him C, I guess that's fine.
Yeah, I think I'll still put him C tier. I think he has done a little bit at the start of the year with Hangman, I think, and I think a match with MJF as well. But next up, though, is going to be Serpentico.
D tier, I guess. Really don't know a whole lot about this guy at all, to be honest.
But next up is going to be Sting.
Yeah, I had a run in the Darby Moxley match to kind of help him get over and get that win. Didn't really like that because I think he should have got it on his own. But, you know, it's Sting. I love him. So he's going to be a B tier, I guess, with Danielson.
Next up is going to be the other half of the Butcher and the Blade. I think this is the Butcher.
D.
And then the other half of the Outriders, Turbo Floyd.
Yeah, you can go in C tier right there with his tag team partner. I do like the Outrunners at the very least.
Next up, Alex Windsor.
In 2026, I think she'll be amazing. I think she'll be likely a world champion. I mean, it could very well be in her very near future in AEW. But in terms of what we've seen this year, hasn't been a whole lot. The in-ring quality of the matches in AEW specifically hasn't really been amazing yet either, even though I do know that it is in her. So I will put her C. Could put her B. I think that would be fine too, I guess. But probably more appropriate for C in terms of just her AEW booking.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think, like you said, she has the potential to be an A tier, but I think so far what we've seen from her, C tier is fine. But next up is going to be Diamante.
Yeah, I'm not sure she's even had a match this year, to be honest, so I guess D tier.
Fair enough. Next up, Julia Hart.
Yeah, she's someone who I was very high on last year, but kind of took a dive for me this year. I don't really know exactly what it is, whether it was the in-ring quality of the promos, whether it's just her being sort of the least interesting person in the group, maybe. I don't really know what it is, but she had a lot of hype for me at the start of the year with Brody King, and I was very, very high on her around that time, but it kind of dipped for me. So I will say C tier, unfortunately, for Julia Hart now.
Fair enough. I think she definitely has had a worse year compared to last year, but somebody who I think will pick it up next year. But next up, I believe that's Madison Rayne, who's somebody we haven't seen on the roster just yet, but yeah. So yeah, next up is going to be Mina Shirakawa, though.
Yeah, had a lot more success this year. Had a match with Mariah May to start the year around January on a Dynamite. Had tag team matches with Tony against Tony. Now she's obviously with Tony again as part of the Timeless Love Bombs and got to the finals of the tag team tournaments. Won the Ring of Honor something championship. I don't remember what she won. She won some sort of championship. But I like Mina Shirakawa, and she'll go C tier.
I think I still would put her B tier. I think everything we have seen from her has been pretty good, and there's been one more still consistent women on the roster. So I'd probably put her C tier, but yeah. Next up, I believe this is not Diana Peraza. Yeah, Diana Peraza, I think.
Yeah, and once again, haven't seen literally anything from her. I love Deanna Purrazzo. She's a great in-ring wrestler, great promo. I don't really know why they're not using her because she is just that good in ring, but D tier, unfortunately.
Next up, though, is Sky Blue, I believe.
Yeah, had I don't really know how to judge it yet. Definitely gonna be higher than Julia Hart, so I guess she'll go in B tier because of that. Because I do think she was way more interesting than her this year. But yeah, I guess B tier.
Next up, though, is Tony Storm.
I don't think she had an S tier year, unfortunately. As much as I would love to put her there, I don't think she had an S tier year. I'm leaning more toward just a very tip top of A.
Yeah, if she's not S tier, then she kind of has to be A. So yeah. But next up is gonna be Anna Jay.
Someone who, once again, I was very high on. I don't know why she's not being used as much as she should be. She's shown that she wants to improve in ring when she went to go do her stardom run, and she did a couple of months there, whatever the case was. So she is someone who wants to improve. She's someone who's young and talented. She has all the kind of necessary tools, but unfortunately, her contract is going to be running out soon, according to Sean Ross Sapp recently. So I don't really know what to think of her. So I guess C tier just based off of what they gave her.
Yeah, I think again somebody who has all the potential and somebody I'm surprised he didn't capitalize on. But yeah, unfortunately she will fall to C tier. But next up is gonna be Emi Sakura.
Yeah, don't know a ton about her. I have seen one or two matches, but not a lot, so D tier.
I also put her in C tier when she still is has shown up. She does put on really fun matches, but yeah, obviously there's not a ton of matches. And next up is me Camille, who I believe we haven't seen this year.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen her, and I don't necessarily want to see her either. So yeah,
Next up is gonna be Marina Shafir.
loved everything that she's done this year. Obviously, to start the year, she hasn't really had a ton of matches. I believe she had like 10 to like 15 matches somewhere in that range this year on Dynamite at least. But I love her. She's improved a ton for me. Leaps and bounds in ring is kind of just built as just like monster, even though she's not like stature wise this big monster like a Megan Bayne or anything, but when she hits you, you feel it. Tonight she kicked Tony Storm in the face one time and kind of put her to sleep. So I love Mina, and I want to put her A. I think she might deserve A, honestly. I don't know.
I don't know if I'll put her in A. Obviously, she does have a lot less matches than a lot of the women, but in terms of just obviously importance to kind of storyline, she has been up there. But I think I still will put her B. I think we will have to see more matches from her this upcoming year.
Yeah, my personal list should be an A for me though.
Next up is Mother Wayne though.
She hasn't really been around much this year, really. So D tier.
Next up is gonna be Red Velvet.
I haven't seen a ton from her, so I'll let you kind of talk more about her.
I'll still put her in C. She did get her Ring of Honor championship back from Mercedes Moné after Mercedes was the interim champion, so I guess I'll have to give her that. I think she has taken a lot of time away this year, so I think she'll have a better year next year. Hopefully we see her more on AEW TV, though. But next up is going to be Ty Mello.
Yeah, gonna go in D tier, unfortunately. She kind of came back with Anna Jay, was part of that tag team and stuff, but I mean, she returned and then they quickly put her back on the bench, unfortunately.
Next up, though, is me Willow Nightingale.
Your winner of that said tag team tournament. I love Willow. Very consistently good in ring, good promo, good pops from the crowd, and everyone loves Willow. I mean, you could put her in S, honestly, but probably leaning more towards A.
Yeah, I think if Tony's not, or if Tony's in A, then this is kind of the highest she can go. So yeah, I can agree with A. But next up is going to follow with Athena.
In ring quality wise, I do think she had a better year than all the women on this list so far. Her match with Mercedes is definitely one of the better women matches from anyone on here, outside of the Hollywood ending, of course. I want to put her in S, but once again, probably leaning more towards A.
Yeah, I can agree with A. Again, unfortunately, didn't win any of the big matches this year, but I think she's somebody who it seems like we'll see more of her going into next year. But we have the other half of the new and inaugural Women's Tag Team Champions with Harley Cameron up next.
I mean, you could put her right there with her tag team partner in A. You could slap her in B as well, like a little notch below her. But I do think she's improved a ton in pretty much everything. She got her little puppet over in the Mercedes feud as well. So I think A tier is probably where I would put her myself.
Yeah, I think she definitely improved quite a ton, and I can't wait to see where she does go next year. But yeah, very fun year from Harley Cameron. Next up is going to be Karen Jarrett, I believe. So I guess we'll just put her right in D. But next up, a fan favorite is going to be Megan Bayne.
Yeah, I mean, she is just one of my favorite women's wrestlers in AEW as her and Chris Statlander as my 1 and 2, basically. But yeah, I love Megan Bayne. I think she's a monster. I love the way she wrestles. She feels like a monster in the ring, sort of like I don't want to compare it to this person because it's a man, but Obafemi-ish. But yeah, she just seems like this monster in the ring, and I love her. I want to put her in A tier, but likely leaning towards B tier because I feel like if we include a lot of her stardom stuff, maybe she would make it into A, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, she's someone I can't wait to see more of in AEW. I can't wait to see more in the title picture as well. I can't wait for the match with Chris Statlander in particular, obviously, just because I think that's going to be a good matchup and to see who can walk out on top as the biggest and baddest woman in AEW.
Nearly 100 matches for her this year, too.
Yeah. But next up is going to be Nyla Rose. I believe we haven't seen too much of her this year.
Yeah, I do believe she did some wrestling stuff on Will Ospreay's promotion. She did a few indie things, I do believe, as well. She might have had 1 or 2 matches on Dynamite. I'm not sure. But unfortunately, gonna be D tier.
Then next up is going to be Riho.
Yeah, got a kind of weird kind of backlash from this sort of thing this year with what's her name?
Gail Kim.
Yeah, Gail Kim. Weird sort of backlash from her, even though kind of wasn't deserved. And Rio's kind of an amazing person, good in ring, and we love Rio. So, but once again, one of those things where you haven't seen her. She hasn't been around AEW. I don't believe it's like a benching issue or anything like that. I do believe it's like a visa issue or something, if I'm not mistaken, at least. But yeah, I'm thinking, I guess C tier. I'd like to put her in B tier, but we just haven't seen the amount of matches I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, I think she has the skill of potential A and B tier, but this year, just like a quantity, I think C tier is fine. Another person I haven't seen too much this year was Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember pretty much anything that she's done this year, at least on AEW. So I guess D.
And then next up is Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah, she recently had a match with Mercedes, was it? Or Tony, or...
I think she did have a match with Mercedes this year, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good match, but I'm not super familiar with her at all, to be very honest. That's probably the only match I have seen from her. So with that being said, C tier.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But next up is somebody who I don't believe we've seen too much this year, or we've seen her at the very start of the year, and this is going to be Britt Baker.
Yeah, another one of those people who seem to be, 1 foot out of the door in AEW. So I guess hopefully we see her in the near future, wherever that may be. But with that being said, D tier for her.
Next up, though, is Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, I guess right there with Rio's probably fine. Hasn't had a lot of matches, but when she does give you matches, they're always really good.
Mm-hmm. And then next up, your current Women's World Champion, and Chris Statlander.
Yeah, once again, I mean, I believe she had a better year than Tony, but does she have a S year, better year? That's the real question.
Yeah, I don't particularly say so, just in terms of the start of the year. Definitely a good year, but I think compared to Tony, Tony has been more consistent throughout the entire year, whereas Chris Statlander just had a very strong end of the year. So yeah, I can put her in A, but yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, though, is going to be Mercedes Martinez. Again, that's somebody who I don't believe we've seen too much on AEW TV this year.
Yeah, D tier for her.
Next up, Penelope Ford.
Yeah, I love Penelope Ford. She unfortunately has an injury at pretty much the worst time possible. She right when she got the injury, they started this tag team tournament and blood and guts happened and all this sort of things happened that she missed out on, unfortunately. But it probably will work out in the best for her because I think storyline wise it'll work out for her later on when she does get introduced back into in-ring action. But with that being said, I'll put her in C tier.
I agree with that. Yeah, I can't wait to see her in the tag team division. But next up is going to be Ruby Soho.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen her at all, so I guess D.
Mm-hmm. And then next up, Thekla.
Not a ton of matches, done blood and guts, had a few singles matches, I believe with Jamie Hayter and with a few other people. Can't really speak too much on it because it's been like so few, but C tier, I mean, she has A tier like qualities for sure, but I'm leaning more towards C tier.
Yeah, I think I probably would personally put her B tier, but I do agree. I wish we see more of her in ring. But yeah, I think we still have gotten a decent little bit from her, and everything we have seen has been pretty good. But I thought we had her earlier, but now we have her as any Deonna Purrazzo. So I guess where we had her earlier it was D tier. So yeah. But a person who's going to go up for the World Championship at World's End is going to be Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I do believe she will be walking out on top and winning that world championship. She had an amazing year. She had an amazing blood and guts. And this was probably Tony Khan's makeup for her debuting on the pre-show last year. So I'm gonna put her in A tier because I do love me some Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I think this year, I think it has been a great year for him. I'm glad she's been able to bounce back. And yeah, she's somebody who I think, obviously you said, could win the World Championship and start next year on a very hot streak. But next up is going to be Layla Gray.
Yeah, kind of made a lot of fans this year for sure. I see more talk about her more than I ever have before. So with that being said, I think I'll put her in C tier.
Fair enough. Then next up, the CEO, Mercedes Moné.
This is gonna be probably, I guess, our one and only female S tier wrestler. Regardless or not, if I love her winning all the belts, doesn't really matter. They're just belts. In-ring quality is kind of what matters. The promos is what really matters. The amount of enjoyment I had watching her is what really matters, and I had a good time with all of that.
Next up is going to be Queen Aminata.
Yeah, another person who kind of an injury sort of derailed a big kind of moment for her being in that blood and guts match. So that sort of sucks. We did get to actually see her on screen, actually in person since we were there. But yeah, we did get to see her. She came out and kind of shook off Penelope Ford when she came out. But unfortunate timing for her to be injured. I will put her in. I want to put her in B, but unfortunately, I'll probably lean more towards C.
Yeah, she's somebody who I think, again, could be that B tier with some arguments, but I can agree as well in the C tier. But next up, Serena Deeb.
Not a lot from her. Could be C, I guess, but probably D.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning more towards a D as well. But next up, Thunder Rosa.
Not a lot from her either, unfortunately, so probably D.
I think we've seen a little bit more from her, and I think everything, she has done has been pretty good, so I think I'll slot her in the C tier. But going back to some men now, it's going to be starting off with Aaron Solo, another guy who I don't believe we've seen at all this year in terms of in-ring action.
Yeah, I thought that was Bo Dallas when I first looked at him.
Next up, we have Nigel McGuinness.
Surprisingly, had a lot more matches than a lot of people on this list. So as funny as that might be, he had a world title match recently on Ring of Honor versus Lee Moriarty as well. So C, I guess. Actually, you could put him B. I wouldn't even be mad.
I think we'll put him in B tier along with the commentary stuff. So yeah. But next up, going on with the world champion or former world champion in Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I didn't really care for some of the storytelling throughout his run, but I mean, it's unarguable. It is definitely a S tier year for him. He's had amazing in-ring quality matches throughout the entire year. Like I said, whether or not I like the story or not, it doesn't really matter. The in-ring qualities were great, the promos were great, and everything that he's given us was great.
Next up is Anthony Bowens.
Yeah, I like him less than Max Caster, as I mentioned before. I have Max in C. I will not put him in D, however, so I guess C for Anthony Bowens.
Fair enough. Next up, a guy who's made some big leaps this year has been Bandito, who is up next.
Yeah, he's tough. I was definitely a Bandito hater at the very beginning, but he definitely grew on me, and now I love Bandito. He's awesome. I'll let you kind of rank him since I was kind of unfairly treating him at the beginning of the year, sort of. I'll let you sort of be the official rank on him.
I think there's a real argument for S tier. However, I will put him into A tier. I think he's somebody who, like I said, has all the potential in the world to be one of the top guys. It's just a matter of when and if they will do that for him. But yeah, somebody who will consistently win the best matches each and every night. But next up is going to be Brandon Cutler, who is somebody we haven't seen this year in ring. But then after that, we have Buddy Matthew, who's we only seen for a few months at the start of the year.
Yeah, we've seen one match with Okada. At least that's the only one that I know of. And unfortunately, he had an ankle injury that really kind of derailed him. He's been going through a lot of struggle with that injury, it seems like. But I'm not putting him in D tier, so C.
Fair enough. Next up, the newest member of the Death Riders in Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, he's likely the most unbelievable heel in AEW. Unfortunately, I just don't really buy the heel gimmick shit at all. But I love him. B, C, I don't know.
Yeah, I think at the start of the year with the stuff with Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship was pretty funny. Somebody who I did enjoy it, but it didn't really get started and didn't get too much time on AWTV, so I wish they did that better. But still a pretty solid year from Danny. But next up is going to be Jurlistico.
Can't really recall anything that he's done, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's in a little bit of stuff on TV. When he is around, does have some pretty fun matches. So I will slide him into C tier. But we have Griff Garrison up next, somebody who's pretty much only on pre-shows and on some collisions. So I guess we'll slide him into the D tier. And next up is going to be Jack Perry.
Yeah, kind of a weird one where at the beginning of the year he was kind of hated again. Like people didn't like him. Like at the end of last year, people really enjoyed him whenever he first came back, and he was kind of doing this scapegoat stuff. It was hated and loved. Then at the beginning of this year, he was hated, and now he's back to being loved again. So it's kind of off and on with Jack Perry. I kind of feel bad for him because his booking seems to be all over the place. But it's working right now, and that's really what matters, I guess. So honestly, you could put him in A tier. I wouldn't be too mad, but probably B.
Yeah, I'm putting him in B tier. Yeah, a great comeback, obviously, with the Jurassic Express stuff. So, yeah, hopefully we see kind of a big rise for Jack Perry in the next year. But next up is going to be Johnny Silver, someone we haven't seen too much of this year. I think we have his other stablemates with Evil Uno also in D tier.
Yeah, I do believe their whole group got squashed by one person early this year. I just don't remember who it was. But yeah.
Next up, the clean-shaven Juice Robinson.
Yeah, hate the clean shave look. Definitely not a good look, at least for me. C tier, I guess.
Yeah, somebody who's still kind of getting things started again, back pretty much on Collision. So yeah, somebody who I think will have a better year next year. But someone who had a really good start to his AEW career is Kevin Knight.
Yeah, I think this might surprise some people, but I think I'm going all the way to A tier for Kevin Knight. I think he really proved people. I think what really kind of won me over for being B to A was this Continental Classic run. He's beaten a lot of important people like Okada. He's faced Speedball. He's had a lot of amazing matches this year. His tag team matches as well were very good. So everything that he's done was really good. And I think in 2026, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of gold around his waist.
Yeah, he's somebody whenever he is on TV, you know you're in for a fun time at the very least. And speaking of that, continuing that, I guess, is going to be Kyle Fletcher up next.
Yeah, immediate S tier. Best wrestler of the year. Him and Io Sky are fighting tooth and nail with each other to see who gets that spot.
Next up, though, is going to be Leo Rush.
I guess you go right there with Darius Martin, I believe, in a B tier. He's really good.
Fair enough. Next year's going to be Martin Davies.
Don't really care for him, to be honest. Just kind of like a brute when he needs someone to come in and take a L. So I guess you could put him C tier. I guess he deserves that.
Yeah, still really enjoy him. I love his power driver. One of the best power drivers probably in wrestling still. But yeah, really solid year from him. I hope we see an improvement for him next year. But next up is Matt Sydal, who I don't believe we've seen at all this year. But next up, the real one is going to be Speedball Mike Bailey. Yeah, an amazing year as a great kickstart to his AEW career.
Yeah, in a way, I kind of want to put him one below Kevin Knight, but at the same time, the thing that brings him right back up is that triple threat match with Kenny Omega, so I will put him in A tier.
Yeah, I think they're just on the same tier. Yeah, great years from both men, and yeah, Speedball, can't wait to see more of him throughout his time in AEW. But next up is MVP.
Yeah, I mean, can't really judge him too much. He has stepped in ring, I believe, 1 or 2 times. But and he's done a Josh Barnett Bloodsport match, I believe, this year. But C tier, I guess. Actually, I'll give him B tier just because on mic he comes on every week and kind of impresses everybody with the way that he talks on mic, and I do love MVP for that.
Next up is gonna be Ortiz, who I believe we haven't seen at all this year.
Yeah, I mean, since Santana left, we haven't really seen a whole lot from him completely.
Yeah, and then next up, I believe this is Pete Vance.
D tier, because I can't tell you who Pete Vance is.
Next up is Sammy Guevara.
Weird one. Long-time tag team champion with Dustin Rhodes in Ring of Honor, I believe. But not much to do in AEW Dynamite Collision World, so I love Sammy Guevara. He's an A tier wrestler, but C tier year.
I can agree with that. Next up is me, Shane Taylor.
Pre-show demon, so he gets D tier.
I'm gonna put him in C tier for me. I do really enjoy him. I do watch a little bit of Ring of Honor. But next up is Stokely Hathaway.
B tier, I guess. I mean, he's amazing. Actually, you could put him A tier. First non-wrestler in A tier.
Yeah, I don't mind that. One of the funniest guys in wrestling. But next up is Toa Liona.
That's Gates of Agony, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so he goes C tier along with his tag team partner.
Fair enough. A man that we thought we would see more of, and that was Wardlow, but has gone away once again. And I don't believe we've seen anything of him this year, or at the very least, it was like a few matches at the very start of the year.
Yeah, I believe he was filming American Gladiators or something of that nature. But yeah, weird year from him. Don't really know what to think. He kind of has start-stop pushes all the time in AEW, so I kind of gave up on fully believing in Wardlow, unfortunately. So I'm going to go C tier.
Fair enough. Next up, though, is going to be another new sign they had this year, and that's Ace Austin.
I mean, he's amazing. He's one of my favorite wrestlers from TNA. This new TNA signing group that they did, I do believe he'll be the most impactful one once it's all said and done. But in terms of right now, he hasn't really done anything. I'm not putting him in D tier, so I guess C tier. But Ace Austin is someone who will be in that A tier, B tier range in the future.
I can agree with that. I wish he did get more opportunities. But next up, we have Jose the Assistant, I believe. But then after that is Anthony Ogogo, who I don't think we've seen too much on AEW TV besides a few collision matches and some Ring of Honor matches. But the next one is going to be Big Bill.
Yes, what the same thing. I mean, we gave Brian Keith a little bit of a, boost to him. But I don't think I'm going to give Big Bill the same boost, to be honest. So I'm going to put him in D.
Fair enough. Next up, Brian Cage.
I don't think I want to give him any sort of boost either. I just haven't really been enjoying him. Whether that's his fault or not, I'm not really sure. But it seems to be a Tony Khan thing with sitting the big guys to the side for sometimes.
Yeah. I'm still going to put him in C, though. I think he's still, again, somebody when he is around, it is still a solid match. So, yeah. But next up, I forget what his name is, but he's another member of, I believe, the Infantry. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar, so we can go D.
Fair enough. But somebody we do know a little bit more about is Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, sort of a weird year for him because I don't really know where to rank him because he honestly could be A tier because he had a lot of good in-ring quality matches. His storytelling this year as part of the Death Riders has been really good, and his storytelling and the current version of the Death Riders being that John Moxley could be kicked out at any moment. Maybe Claudio's the leader, maybe Pac's the leader, maybe Marina's the leader. No telling what we're going to get, so I really did enjoy him. It definitely could be an A tier year.
Yeah, I think I will put him A tier. I think he is just really fun and really interesting. Obviously, with where he'll stand among the Death Riders hierarchy, we'll see. But yeah, very fun year from Claudio. But next up is Dante Martin.
I think we could put him in B tier. Unfortunately, he's kind of one of those guys who Tony Khan puts in the ring to just get beat up every now and again. But in doing that, he makes everyone look really good. So why not?
And then next up is Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, was a TNC champion this year. So had a tag team champion with Sammy Guevara. So he had a lot of success this year. Obviously, in ring quality, is it going to be super amazing when it comes to Dustin Rhodes? But he does still do enough to impress you here and there. So I think I'll give him C.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, we have another member of Don Callis' family in Hechicero.
He's had a lot of matches. I'm just struggling to remember any sort of like big, crazy in-ring quality match that he's had. I just can't really think of any at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's definitely somebody who does have a lot of matches, but hasn't had too many high marquee matches. But again, very consistent nonetheless. I probably still wouldn't put him. I probably will put him in B tier. I think again, when you in terms of skill and just entertainment, for me, he is probably on that tier. But next up, the other half of the Grizzled Young Veterans. I forget his name. Another guy who hasn't done too much in AEW this year, obviously with his tag team partner. Next up is John Morrison, who again haven't seen too much. Done a lot more Ring of Honor and a little bit of Collision. But yeah, then after that, it is Katsuyori Shibata.
Yeah, obviously part of the ops. He had the little funny gimmick whenever they were baby faces where he was kind of talking into the phone and it was kind of Siri voice was coming out of it or whatever. But I haven't really enjoyed a ton that he's done, to be honest. So, I mean, I'll let you sort of rank him. I'd probably put him in C myself.
I'll still put him in B tier. I do really enjoy his matches. That's why we don't say Siri around here, because that's what happens. But yeah, I think he's still really fun and entertaining. But yeah, next up is going to be Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian. The biggest thing I could remember him doing was when Christian was going to cash in a contract, he stole a pin. I don't even know if that was this year, to be honest. It might have been last year, actually. I don't know. But D tier, I don't really know.
Yeah, fair. That's probably where I put him as well. Somebody who has had a very kind of rise as of late, but then kind of got stopped due to an injury is going to be Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I don't think he's done enough to be in that group of A tier people, but I mean, he's definitely top of B tier at the very least.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Next up is going to be the other half of the Jurassic Express with Luchasaurus.
Yeah, I love that Jurassic Express is back. I love that he's back and healthy as well. He's dealing with a couple of injuries or health issues, whatever the case may be. So I'm glad that he is healthy, but I'll put him a step below Jack Perry and C.
Fair enough. Next up is going to be Mike Bennett, or no, Matt. I forget his name.
D tier guy.
This is Mike Bennett, though.
D tier guy.
Next up, we have the Young Buck with Nick Jackson.
D tier guy. He's I mean, you could put him S tier definitely, but probably A tier.
Yeah, I can agree with A tier. I think S tier. We haven't seen it yet from a tag team. But next up is me Pac.
Yeah. I don't know. He's gone for most of the year, to be honest. Had the big spot with Darby Allin at Blood and Guts where he kind of throws him through the flaming table, so that was really good. Had a really good Continental Classic run as well. Seems like he could potentially be a leader of the Death Riders if they wanted to go that direction. His Black Arrow is still one of the best finishers in all of wrestling. So, B tier?
Yeah, I think that's fine. He's somebody who, again, he's always gonna have some great matches, and now with being more in this Death Rise storyline with its potential kind of next leader, kind of upping himself in the hierarchy, could be really interesting. So yeah, a very good, solid year from Pac, but hopefully see more from him. Next up, though, is gonna be Prince and Nana.
Could be, with Stokely in A tier, but I think Swerve being gone for most of the year, I'll put him in B tier because of that.
Fair enough. And then next up is the current world champion in Samoa Joe.
I haven't enjoyed his title run. I don't like that he took the title from Hangman Adam Page either. I would put him in C tier in terms of this year. Hasn't done a lot. It's really just what we're seeing right now is what he's done for the whole year, basically. But yeah.
I think I'd personally put him C, but I don't mind. I personally put him in B. I think C is fine. I think in terms of entire year, could be higher. But next up is another member of the infantry. Again, I forget his name, but I think we have his teammates in D tier. So next up, following that, is going to be Swerve Strickland.
Done not a lot, but I mean, in terms of impact, I mean, he could still be S tier even with that being said. But the short amount of matches that he had, I do still think that, with this World's End build, the way it did turn out to be with MJF and all this stuff included, it's probably still could be S tier.
Yeah, I think I probably will put S tier is a little hard just because he did take him away, but I think it is fine. Put him in S tier. Still, obviously, one of the best in AEW. Next up, Tony Nese, somebody who I don't believe we've seen. After that, though, is going to be Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, I mean, we hate Wheeler Yuta, especially when we went to that Blood and Gut show. The whole crowd definitely hated Wheeler Yuta in person. But yeah, C tier for... you could put him B tier, actually. I think he's doing his job as a perfect heel right now.
Fair enough. But next up is going to be Action Andretti.
You could put him with Darius Martin and them in B tier. I think. Well, actually, you could put him a step below C tier just because of the amount that he's done.
Fair enough. Next up, Alex Reynolds, another member of Dark Order.
Yeah, D tier, unfortunately.
Next up, AR Fox.
He's in that B or C range for me.
Yeah, I think with more opportunities, probably in B, but I think in terms of what he did get, I unfortunately have to put him in C. Next up, everybody's favorite 50-year-old is going to be Billy Gunn.
Yeah, everyone needs a 50-year-old ass man on their roster. He gives you that, so we're going A tier. But he did defeat Jay White, so I mean, he is one of the GOATs for doing that. So D.
Next up, though, is Brody King.
I guess wherever Bandito is, that's where Brody King goes, because he's pretty much done everything that Bandito has done.
Fair enough. And then next up is going to be Cash Wheeler.
Yeah, same thing. Wherever his tag team partners, you can slap them there in A tier.
Fair enough. Lost Brody King, but next up is Colt Cabana, who I don't believe had any televised TV matches. But after that is going to be Darby Allin.
Yeah. Well, my favorite... Honestly, he was my favorite. I don't even know if he still is my favorite anymore at this point. I think the booking that they've done with him is absolutely terrible. I wish, there was a whole lot more to it when he came back from Mount Everest and his injury. Everyone was super excited for him online, and I know I'm a little biased because I love Darby Allin, but they just did not pay any of that momentum that he had off at all. I disliked his match booking. I disliked his booking in general. I disliked his storytelling. I disliked him losing. I disliked that they did the stare angle twice in a row. B tier.
Yeah, I think when you still have Darby there, everything he has done was pretty good. The matches still were very solid. Obviously, I know you're going to be a little more upset than what I am, but yeah, I can still see where you are coming from. But another guy who did return this year is Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, sort of. I don't know. He's sort of like a weird one. He came back, and never been a huge fan of Eddie Kingston. As I mentioned, I wasn't a huge fan of Samoa Joe's run. So what did they do? Put Eddie Kingston in a match with Samoa Joe for his first defense. So I didn't really care for that. His in-ring hasn't been great, but he is one of the best promos in really pro wrestling. I love his promos. I guess C tier, just because he hasn't really done a lot of matches anyway.
Yeah, I think C tier is fine. But next up is Hologram.
Probably right there in C tier as well. Hasn't done a lot. I do believe he's injured right now. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. But next up is Jay Lethal, who, again, somebody we haven't seen too much this year. But following that is going to be Jon Moxley.
Yeah, I mean, S tier. You could say A, but at the same time, those people in A tier aren't there without Moxley damn near. So, I don't know. I think Jon Moxley... at the beginning of the year, I think everyone hated him, but it was hate that was needed to where you could kind of love him. Like, without that hate, I don't know if we'd come to love him as much as we do right now. Because once he lost that title at All In, it was a big moment. And, leading forward to that with Darby Allin, supposed to be the guy who ended him. It didn't really work out that way, unfortunately, but that was the direction that everyone was excited to move into after All In.
Fair enough. Next up is your current Continental Classic champion, Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah, definitely could be S tier. Probably leaning more towards A for him in particular, because he seems like, when he's motivated, he'll give you S tier matches. When he's not, he's not. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would put him in A tier. Obviously, potential of always being S tier, but yeah, I think from what we got this year, was still very good, and hopefully continues next year. But next up, I believe this is Commander.
Yeah, D tier. I can't really speak on it. I can't recall a single match that he's done, to be honest. I know he's wrestled this year. I just can't recall him.
I'll still put him in C against somebody who he does get his matches is pretty a solid match. But next up is Lance Archer.
Don't know if I can recall a match from him either. I remember seeing him make his entrance 100 times. I just can't really recall in-ring quality or promos that he's done or backstages that he's done or anything.
Yeah, I think I'll also put him in C tier. Again, same thing with the Commander can apply for him. Next up, other half of Private Party and Mark Quinn.
Yeah, A tier team, but unfortunately D tier year.
Fair enough. Other half of the Young Bucks in Matt Jackson.
Yeah, right there with A tier with his brother.
And then following that is MJF.
Would love to put him in S tier, but lacking a lot of kind of appearances and things of that nature. I think John Cena might have showed up more than MJF this year, so that should say enough.
So what tier are we saying?
A.
A, fair enough. Okay. Next up though is gonna be Ricochet.
Honestly, could be S damn near. I'd probably more towards A, but if you want to put him S, I'm not really gonna argue.
I think there's an argument for S. Unfortunately, I will put him in A. I feel like, obviously, if he was a bit more in that world title picture, I think that I could definitely get him in there. But I think A tier is fine for him. But following that is me, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, I'm not going to put him on the same tier as Bobby, unfortunately, because Bobby just had more matches than him, and it's just kind of... actually, might not have more matches. I don't really know, to be honest. That might be a lie. So, yeah, I guess just put him in the same tier. Why not? Whatever.
Fair enough. But after that is going to be Beast Mortos.
Yeah, S tier. drip and game, and he pulled Mercedes on A, became a lawyer. His in-ring quality just stepped up all of a sudden out of nowhere. He's getting booked and stuff. Like, this man is on trajectory to defeat Will Ospreay soon. So yeah, all jokes aside, though, I like Beast Mortos. I still hate the mask. I'll never get over that. I just think it's, I don't know, just I like masks. It's not a problem about him having a mask. Just that mask in particular, I don't like. But C tier year, I guess we just haven't seen a ton from him. But to be fair, when we have seen him, it's been pretty good.
Yep. And then next up, though, is me Trent Beretta.
D, I guess. I don't really know. Hard to judge him when he hasn't done too much.
Then following that is me Will Ospreay.
Does he crack S? I mean, Swerve cracked it, so if Swerve did, then I mean, you might as well throw Ospreay in there.
Then the next up is gonna be, to finish it out, is gonna be Adam Cole.
Yeah, we kind of got some heartbreaking news in terms of his injury. He may or may not come back at all. We really don't know. I would like to think, it's Adam Cole, so he will come back. He always does, but it's one of those things where it's like you can only come back so many times before it kind of, it officially breaks you. So hopefully that is not the case with Adam Cole. I love him. He's amazing in ring and everything. But yeah, C tier. Yeah, it has to be C tier. Can't really put him higher than that.
Fair enough. But yeah, that will do it for our AEW tier list. Obviously, again, another very long one. But yeah, we ended up getting through it.